Hi, I'm Alicia Ross, aka Fit Diamond Queen. Today I want to discuss about coaching. I am one of the owners of Elite Diamond Track Club. You can follow us at Elite Diamond Track Club on Instagram. I am co-partners with one of the other coaches, Maurice Ross, who's under Elite Competitive Training. Today I wanted to discuss the difference of athletes. You have your elite athletes, which are more the athletes that's real good, that's always winning, naturally strong, naturally built, naturally talented. Those are mainly what the coaches go after. They go after the kids that we rarely have to touch. We just got to kind of tweak into their natural ability and make them one of the best. Then you have your middle athlete, which are just a little bit underneath the elite athlete, but you have to push those to bring out their motivation, to strengthen them, to make them a better athlete. Then you have your beginner ones, those who rarely know how the work ethic works, those who never done the sport before, those who it takes time and patience. You have to build them. To me, you become a great coach when you can take that beginner athlete and you teach them the concept and motivate them and have patience enough to help them become that elite athlete. To me, that is a great coach. I don't feel like a great coach is always a coach that feel like he wants to build his team up on all elite athletes, those that's already talented. I don't put those type of athletes on my resume because those are naturally already talented, so you're really not promoting their inner strength. You're really just kind of tweaking and adding on what you can bring to help that athlete. But I notice a lot of coaches do that. They end up getting a naturally talented elite athlete, and those athletes are what brings the names to those coaches or names to those teams. And to me, I don't agree. I was on one of the group feeds on Facebook. It bothers me because we had originally just went to the jails. Of course, the COVID had messed everybody up. And one of the coaches made a comment that this is not the jails because the best of the best is not there. Well, my question to those coaches is, what is the best of the best? Because if you consider the best of the best just going to the Junior Olympics, I thought the kids that make it, rather how they made it, is one of the best. To me, I don't think because you're go to the Junior Olympics that you're one of the best, because sometimes a kid that's just as good as that kid can't make it due to financial stuff or due to injuries or some mishaps. Sometimes a kid can't travel. So I don't agree on anybody saying because you go to the JOs, you're one of the best. I feel like your kids is one of the best once they feel like they sign up to your program and they get out here and work daily and they get out here to be the best and to work at it. Every day a kid progressing his own personal record is one of the best. So I just, it bothers me when you get a lot of prideful coaches saying that. Coaches, you have to study your athletes. You have athletes that is not going to understand your drills. It's not going to always work hard on that track. It's not going to push the ability that you want them to push. Every kid has to be taught differently. You have some kids that need more hands-on. You have some kids that need more motivation. You have some kids that'll get out there and do it naturally. But it seems to me that I watch coaches, they push more for the elite athletes because they're already great. I don't agree on that, because once you get a beginner athlete and they see that you're constantly pushing that elite athlete, that beginner athlete tends to try to compare themselves to that other athlete, which you don't want that. So if you're the type of coach that get frustrated and get mad and want to yell and want to down talk a kid that you're slow, you're no good, or you're not fast enough, then you need to hang up your coaching sleeves now, because at the end of the day, every kid has to work on up to their own standards. Every kid is not going to make your standards. You have to understand, we can't teach the kids to beat us. I'm sorry. We have adults out here and we have coaches that tend to be hard on kids. But if you don't realize, sometimes you get a kid and they're weak in your practice. practice and they not having fun in your practice, but then when they get to another coach, they work hard. You have to understand, why is that kid working hard with this coach and not coming to my practice working hard? What am I not doing? If you notice that your athlete is lacking in practice, sit that athlete down and talk to them. What can we do for you as a coach? What can I do to help you, to help motivate you to be a better athlete? You know, that kid will sit you down and that kid will tell you. I have athletes that tell me, Coach Alicia, you cannot yell at this athlete like you yell at me. I'm used to that. This not. So it kind of made me reprocess my thinking to say, you're right. I can't train this athlete the way I train my more elite athletes, because I had them for years and they learned me and they warmed up to me. Unlike the beginner athlete who never worked with me or don't understand, they don't understand the yelling process that I do. They don't understand the toughness process that I give them until they actually get used to that. I have, and you know, I do commend a lot of coaches that work with the kids and that have patience. A lot of coaches feel like because a kid didn't reach the standards that they lack as a coach. You don't lack as a coach. Our job is to motivate them. If our kids are not built up on the inside, guess what? They're not going to progress on the outside. They're not going to give you what you want if you're one of the coaches that always downplay a child or make excuses on why they can't do what you do. You can't expect a kid to come out here and PR in the 400 if they don't have that endurance or build up to that race. You can't expect a kid to come out here and do a lot of speed if they don't have the endurance or the strength to even do it. If practically daily your practices is focused on one thing, you have to incorporate your practice in endurance. You have to work speed. You have to do strengthening. You have to incorporate all of that. That's just like when I started with my fitness journey. You have to have patience with your athletes. If you're a coach and you don't have patience, guess what? All you're going to do is your impatience is going to damage your athlete, and it's not going to make them progress, because guess what? Now your athlete didn't checked out. They minds are just totally not there anymore. When I created a youth track club, it wasn't because I wanted to make the best out of the best. I just wanted to be a role model. I wanted to teach these kids work ethics. I never teach my kids winning is always mandatory, because I also teach life skills. You can't teach your athlete that it's always important to win, because guess what? In life, you never always win. You win some, you lose some. And this is what I don't like that the coaches teach elite. You pump these elites heads up, you don't teach them to humble themselves. So when an athlete tends to always win, guess what? They feel like they don't have to work harder, when in their mind it should be, I have to work 3 times harder now, because guess what? I'm in targets. I am that #1 elite athlete that everybody is coming for. So I teach my athletes, never look at that person that beat you before, because guess what? It can always be the beginner athlete who worked just as hard and triggered you and targeted you, and now guess what? That athlete that you wasn't expecting to beat you came and beat you, because you're so focused on the elite athlete. This is why I train my kids. Don't look at my kids. My kids have years of experience in training, and yes, my kids lose some, my kids win some. My kids sometimes get in their head that they don't have to work as hard as the next athlete. So when the kids that they usually beat come and beat them, guess what? You lacked. You slowed up your pace. You got too cocky. You felt like you didn't have to put in that work. So my advice to you coaches is to learn to have patience with your kids. I know a lot of women coach have more patience because we automatically have that motherly passion for kids. If you don't take the time to learn your kids and then learn from other coaches, it's okay to watch other coaches to see how they react with kids or how they train kids. We learn from each other. We learn from books. If you're one of the coaches that's above learning, whether it's a woman teaching you, whether it's a man teaching you, sometimes a kid can teach you. If you're above learning from other people and you only sticking to one teacher, guess what? You failing as a coach. And you really can't teach a kid how to learn something if you're not even willing to learn it. So how can we motivate the kids? Motivating the kids is even when they lose, they still do a good job. If you feel like they lacking in their area, explain to them, this is what I feel. But ask them, how do you feel in your practice, or do you feel like you did good? Ask them open questions. That way they can openly answer the questions, and you'll see what's really going on with their mind. Don't be one of the coaches, you're slow, you're not fast, or you're weak, or you talk about their body structures and, oh, you don't have muscles, and that creates low self-esteem in anybody. And I say this because I faced that as an adult. When somebody told me I was too weak, somebody told me I was fat, somebody told me I was skinny, that plays a role on the inside of how you build. So if you tell an athlete all their life that they're slow and that they're not doing good in practice, guess what? They're going to say, well, you know what, I'm not doing it good anyway, and they're not going to be happy, and they're going to be frustrated, and then they're going to want to tend to leave your team. So my advice to you guys is start to have more patience with your athletes. Quit always looking for that elite athlete. Yeah, you get elite athlete, fine, but always try to motivate and push those that's beneath them. Don't always get so excited that you got this best runner out there, because things happen, injuries happen. Sometimes the kids that win so much don't be as motivated no more because they win so much, they just tired of it. So keep your focus on the youth, period. It's about the kids. Teach them patience. You have to install motivation in them. They have to have great self-esteem. You have to be the type of coach that they can come to and talk to about their issues. Like I said, you guys can follow us on the Elite Diamond Track Club. It's a new track club coming in 2021. You know, as even watch me on my Instagram at fit_diamond_fitness. As I'm walking through this fitness journey, I am learning a lot about myself with inside of me, and also teaching myself how to become a better coach. So those that have questions, you can ask me questions. Those that have want to talk to me about anything, you can. You know, like I said, I know a lot of coaches out there, and I watch you guys. You guys are doing a great job with your kids. You know, I do learn from a lot of coaches. I do get frustrated at a lot of coaches. And then parents, I'm going to discuss with you too. I have an issue with parents that push their kids too hard, and you don't know what it feels like to put in that work because you feel like, I paid my money and she got to work hard. You got to understand, the process of this takes patience. You're not going to see your beginning child come out here and be an athlete. You can't compare your child who hasn't ran years to the ones that ran years and why she's lacking. You got to understand, when you start a new sport, yeah, the kids is going to tend to play because the first thing they're surrounded by is a bunch of kids. So yeah, your kid is not going to always be motivated. They have to have fun in order for them to push. So parents, in order for your kids to have fun, stop fussing at them. Stop yelling at them. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Unless you go out there and run with your kids and practice with them. Maybe if they see that you're doing it, then they will get more motivated and say, okay, my mom or my dad is out here working out. Let me push. This is why I try to stay fit. So I'm a hands-on coach. So I try to run with my athletes and try to have fun with them, because they're not going to give you any progression. You got to understand, these are kids. Kids like to play. They're not like the high school kids. Really, they focus on things that focus on scholarships. You got a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old. They want to play. So guess what? Make practice fun for them. Don't ever tell a kid that you're weak or you're not good. That's not going to push a kid. That's going to shut a kid down. So once again, this is Fit Diamond Queen, aka Track Diamond. I go by every name. Alicia Ross, owner of Elite Diamond Track Club. And just continue to follow us. And I wish you the best of luck.